It is now March 2nd already, and once again, I'm going to be ranking all 4 February 2024 releases that I watched, ranked from the worst to the best. And coming in last place, we have The Gorge. Now, this movie is still good. I actually quite like this movie. But my main issue with this movie, even though it's good, and I think that all the performances are great, I love all these actors and actresses, is ironically the thing that I was most excited about with this movie ended up being the thing that I liked the least. And what really captured me here was the romance between our two leads. And it's so interesting because there's not really much dialogue as they're both on opposite sides of this watchtower watching this gorge. And that part was really interesting. I really liked that part. But when we get into like the more sci-fi, horror, and then conspiracy, it just wasn't as interesting. Like I said, this movie is still good. I liked it. But it's just that part was just not as interesting to me, and it kind of dragged it down just a little bit. It's still good though, and the performances are all great. If they were able to just nail the ending, it could have even been higher, but they weren't able to nail the ending in my opinion. Even the ending, like the last 10 minutes actually I really liked, but it's like the previous like 30, 40 minutes weren't as interesting. But then like the first like hour 10 were great. But still good. And coming in third place, we have Heart Eyes. And this is another movie that basically it almost kind of perfected everything, some of my problems with The Gorge, even though they're completely different movies. This one's a horror. But here also, yes, the one thing here, you go in for the horror too, and the horror is great, like the slasher, but also the romance between our two leads also makes it even better. So we're able to have both a great romance movie and a great slasher movie. And that's what thing I liked so much about this movie is our two leads just have this great chemistry together that you like watching them. That just makes them so much fun to watch. And it's just a great, like I said, it's just a great romance. And then you also have this serial killer going around killing people in these over-the-top violent ways that just adds to the fun. And yeah, this is just a really fun blast of a movie. I thought it was great. I really liked it. And I don't really have any main problems with this movie. It's just I liked these other two movies even more. And coming in second place, we have The Monkey. And this is also a movie where it might even be first. These next two movies, like this movie and then one in first place, I really like both of them. I've seen The Monkey twice, and I loved it both times. And I also, in my number one spot, I also really liked, but I've only seen that one once. So it's going to be hard. But I think the reason, and this, like I said, this could change, but I think the reason it's two as right now is just because I don't, what this movie does so well is this is just a hilarious comedy where it's not really scary at all, but its comedy comes from the over-the-top gore. I mean, this is based on a Stephen King book, and that's what makes it like just a blast to watch. But like it does have some good drama to it, I think. Like with our main character trying to reconnect with his son, but it goes so far into the comedy, which I loved, that it's just not as compelling. And like I said, I've seen this movie twice. Maybe I'll like it even more the third time. Like I said, I still think it's great. Probably still might be my second favorite movie of the year. But my only problem, like I just liked the one that's in number one even more. But like I said, that could always change. But as of right now, this is in second place. And coming in number one, we have My Dead Friend Zoe. And this is a movie where I just thought it was beautiful. And I just thought that it was able to tackle so many different things where we're dealing with PTSD, guilt, just almost self-loathing and learning to have self-love. That I just thought it was a beautiful film. And our performances, so great. I mean, Sonequa Martin Green, so great. Morgan Freeman, obviously he's great in everything he's in. One of the greatest of all time. And what I think, although I wasn't able, like there wasn't anything like this where this specific thing happened to me where, because our main story here is like about guilt, where our main character feels guilty about the death of her best friend, and she talks to her best friend and sees her, and that's, she's dealing with all this PTSD. But what I just like about it is almost, and there's also this other genre, like subplot between with her and her grandfather, but it's just such a personal story that I loved so much. And I think, like I said, what I think this movie does so well is also just that sense of also, you have to be able to forgive yourself. And that, I thought, was just a beautiful message. And I was able to get so much out of this personally. There are some things in here that personally I really connected with. And yeah, I just thought it was a beautiful film. Like I said, who knows, maybe go down when I watch it again. Maybe I won't like it as much. But as of right now, I think this is probably my favorite movie of the year. And it also is pretty funny at times. That's one thing that the movie does so well, is that it can be very funny, but it also just has such great drama to it, in such great deep themes, like I said, about guilt, self-sacrifice, forgiveness. And yeah, I thought it was great. I really loved this movie. So that was my ranking of all 4 February 2025 releases that I watched, from the worst to the best. Just let me know, leave in the comments your ranking of every single February 2025 movie that you watched. Leave your ranking below. I'll read them all. And leave a like if you enjoyed this ranking, and subscribe for more rankings and reviews.